Life FM, Maz for the drive home on this lovely Monday afternoon and joined by the guys from Dornford Building Group for another one of these.
Maz for the drive home, building for life.
Building for life, Jake and Nico are here in the studio. Guys, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you, Maz.
Yeah, doing well. Thanks, Maz. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's great to have you here talking about building and the construction industry, which for someone like me, a major novice, just has absolutely no idea. I mentioned in one of our recent chats that it's a bit like building for dummies when it comes to this segment for me anyway. But today we're actually talking about something that is really important, and I think all our chats are, but this one I think is a really valuable one to most people. Common mistakes when building and how to actually avoid them. So the first one we're going to start with, the planning and design phase.
I'll probably take this first one. The first thing that comes to mind for me is starting out with the right budget. So often we see people come with inadequate budgets and they're not fully prepared for, what it could cost them, their dreams, and, what they want doesn't quite align with the money that they have. So I guess one of the things that we always encourage our clients to do is to actually look ahead and create a detailed budget with some detailed cost estimates. So you don't go spending more than you have. And especially once you start building, there's always things that pop up that are unexpected. So we tell our clients, have a contingency of about 10, 15, maybe even 20%, so that when things come up and unexpected costs arise, or you want that extra thing that's a little bit nicer, you do have money within that budget to afford it. So you actually plan for that from the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
I'd like to add something there. With new homes, the contingency isn't as large. So with doing extensions and renovations and opening up existing buildings, that is where you sort of need that 15% contingencies.
100%.
Because things could go wrong.
Correct. New homes, you're cutting land, you're pouring slabs, and it's fairly all well known. So your contingency doesn't have to be as big unless you start chopping and changing your minds.
Yeah, right.
You do engineering and soil testing and all of that to try and avoid some of the unexpected things underground that you can't see. But again, there's always things that maybe a core misses, or if they don't see that there's going to be as much rock that there is and how difficult the digging is going to be with a new home. But with an extension, you have things like existing walls, cables, electrical, sometimes even asbestos, which adds complexity to things like extensions.
So having that extra bit of contingency is just really important, so that if those things come up, you're not sort of left in the dark like, oh, how am I going to come up with this extra money now?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so next one was in the construction phase. What are some of the biggest mistakes that people commonly make?
One I like to sort of talk about is not choosing the right builder for your job. So there are different builders for different types of jobs, and not vetting your builder. So let's say you go to a brand new home builder and they've never done extensions, and then you say, hey, can you do this extension? He's like, yeah, I can do it. And you haven't spoken to any of his past clients. He's going to be experimenting on your job for your first one. So you really want to vet your clients or your builder, and then from there go with there's ways we vet people and subcontractors. You look at reviews, you look at past jobs, you talk to past clients. So we're very open, Nico and myself, to let other people talk to our clients to see how we resolve problems, to see how we dealt with things on site, because every single extension and renovation, there are going to be problems arising, and that's where you really want to find out from your builder how they're going to resolve those problems and how quickly are they going to resolve the problems.
And being upfront and transparent about that too
is
also, building that trust with your clients as well. Yeah.
And it is so hard to know who you can trust. So I think that's where it comes into that vetting sort of side of things, getting to know the builder, making sure you trust them as a person as well.
Yep.
But then also making sure that they've got the systems in place, the processes to consistently deliver results. So it's not, like Jake said, just sort of a one-trick pony where they've never really done something before. They've only done one particular aspect of the construction, but making sure they have experience throughout the whole process.
Yeah, for sure. How about in the post-construction phase? Like, what are some of the biggest mistakes people make in that? Because I guess you kind of think, oh, it's all been done now. Like, do I have to stress anymore? Do I have to?
Yeah. I was talking to someone today, actually, driving around, and I was like, man, people build these new homes, new extensions, spend millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars on them, and they don't actually look after them. They don't do warranty on them. there are some companies that if you don't do your inspections every single year, you'll lose warranties for like termite protection. You need to make sure you stay on top of that. And there are other warranties that you need to stick on and other precautions you need to run. But
yeah, I think the main thing is coming down to having a chat with your builder and seeing what you actually need to do once the process is finished. So having a detailed documentation of, hey, look, this is the warranty for your oven. This is who you call if it breaks. This is the warranty for your termite protection. These are the inspections that we've set up for you. Make sure that you book that in once a year, and things like that to ensure that you're actually keeping your home completely warranted.
And can you, like, you guys are obviously on top of that as, when the handover sort of happens, but you're also there on hand if people do need some extra support throughout that process.
Yeah, so we normally, if clients call us up a year later or 2 years later saying, hey, there's a crack here, we'll most likely come back and fix it. But if it's not anything, if it's done because of, obviously you can see someone's gone and smashed a hole in the wall, or someone's hit a tile and snapped it. There's obviously, you can see how someone's done that, but we always advise clients how to fix it, or if we'll come out and help them fix it. So being that support and that, helping hand if they need. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And as part of contracts, there is a defect and liability period that clients should be aware of. So it's normally 6 months or a year, something like that, where the builder does come out and fixes any issues for you. So if there is any like cracks or things that do appear as part of your contract, that is something that they fix. So that's something the client should be aware of. You do have that power within that defects liability period to bring up any defect to your builder, and then they will address it for you.
Like if windows aren't opening, doors are jamming, shower screens are rubbing or whatever. You definitely. And there's another one thing that we forgot to mention though, was as soon as your build finishes, every builder should be doing a walkthrough with your clients. And that is a stage where you get to go through and look at your house and make sure you are happy with the house. And that's where you see on Instagram and Facebook all those little blue dots everywhere. You do want to go around and make sure that you're happy with the quality of the paintwork, of the skirtings, to make sure there's no scratches or cracked tiles, or to make sure your kitchen doors and drawers are all opening well, making sure they're clean. And so you really want to have, and if you can, take someone who's experienced with you to walk through your house at the end of it, or even get a certifier to go through and tick it all off to make sure all the externals are done properly as well.
Because I imagine that would be like the most important part of the process 100%. Towards the end. Like you want to be happy and also do it while you've still got the builder physically there with you. So you want to, if there are any issues, they can sort of sort it out.
If there are issues, don't take the keys, and then don't also pay.
And I think that comes back to, I might sound a little bit like a broken record here, but that there is quality systems throughout the build. You want to make sure that your builder's actually checking the house at the various different stages, because it's much easier to fix a mistake before the gyprock goes on in the framing, for instance. But once the frames are up and then the gyprock goes on, it's much harder and much more much more expensive to actually fix it. So making sure your builder's on site, checking the quality, making sure that as the build progresses, that it's compliant, it goes towards code, is really important for the clients to ensure that they get the best product at the end.
And I mean, ultimately, that's your best interest as well
100%.
as the builders. Is you want the client to be happy with the final product. Otherwise, what's the point?
We want a raving client.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think one thing that's sort of lost as well is there is a relationship here. You're together for a year, back and forth, and with a builder, they're often doing or building your most expensive investment. So you want to make sure that you get along with them and that they get along with you, and that makes the whole process seem so much more enjoyable for everyone. Because if you don't get along with your builder, even if they deliver a good product in the end, you're going to hate the process and never want to build again. And that's something that we do hear quite often, that the actual process from people who haven't built with someone like a custom home builder, for instance, or even a custom home builder that didn't have good processes in place, they often hate the process. And that's something that obviously we never like to see. So it's very important to know your builder, know that you can trust them, and build a relationship with them.
For sure. Because I think that, if you are dealing with someone that you don't necessarily trust, or you don't feel that you can be open with, asking questions or saying, can you check this, or can you redo that, or, I think, you're going to feel a bit like a burden. You're going to feel like, I don't want to say anything, when at the end of the day, it is your money and it is a big investment. So it's good to hear that the builders actually want to hear that feedback too.
100%. And it comes down to, caring about the product, caring about the client, and making sure that they get the best out of the whole experience as well. Because ultimately, that, that's what it's all about. It's making sure that the client gets what they want, has a good experience doing it. And then that's, I think, the way that we change the building industry.
Yeah. So good. And I loved having these chats as well, learning more about the building industry and giving you guys a bit of a chance to actually share on that too, because it's probably something that a lot of people don't even think of, like, oh, I can actually go to a builder who actually wants my input and wants my feedback and wants to know that I'm happy about this stuff.
Yeah, we like to have a relationship with our clients and want to hear their thoughts and whatnot.
Fantastic. Yeah. What are we going to chat about next time, guys?
Well, next we'll talk about house and land packages, how to secure them, where to go.
What they mean, what they are.
Yeah, correct.
Building for dummies. That's what I call this segment in my head. I love chatting with you guys about building and the home and construction industry. It's so fascinating and it's so foreign to me, as I'm sure it is to a lot of people out there who want to go into the industry or are in, they've got their own home but maybe wanting to do an extension or a build. So, yeah, really good to have these chats. And, of course, you can always text in your questions as well for Jake and Nico, 0430 25 1079. Would love to hear from you as well, and you can remain anonymous. Jake and Nico from Dornford Building Group, thank you so much.
Thank you, Maz.
Thank you. Have a lovely night.